Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. I hope that you all had a blessed and happy Father's Day. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk to you all about an issue that I heard about. I want to talk about this before I go to work while the ideas are still fresh in my mind. Well, Donald Trump has been in the news lately because of some statements that he made about racial profiling. And this is what he said. He said, profiling is something that we are going to have to start to think about as a country. He went on to talk about how other countries profile, countries like Israel. He went on to say, I hate the concept of profiling, but we have to start using common sense. We have to use our head. And then he went on to say that it is not the worst thing to do. And I just wanted to take some time to respond to this because he's essentially saying that we should profile Muslims, that Muslims should be profiled. And I have to respond to this because I'm just thinking about all the mass shootings that have occurred. If you look at the majority of these mass shootings, the number one perpetrator, the number one person responsible for the crime is a white man. If we look at Sandy Hook, where 20 children were killed and 6 adults were killed, that was a white man. If we look at the Luby massacre, 23 people were killed, that was a white man. If we look at the massacre that took place in San Sidro, I think that's how it's pronounced, 22 people were killed, and that was a white man who was responsible for that. If we look at the killing at the University of Texas at Austin in 1966, 16 people were killed, and a white man did that. If we look at the Edmond Post Office massacre, 14 people were killed. A white man committed that crime. If we look at Aurora, Colorado, at that movie house shooting, 12 people were killed and a white man was responsible for that. Most of these mass murderers are white men. Most of them. So if your concern is really about stopping these mass killings and you want to profile someone, then you need to look in the mirror and profile yourself as a white man, because most of these people who commit these crimes are white men. In fact, there's no person on the face of the earth more violent than a white man. All we have to do is take a walk down the history lane. All we have to do is look at World War I, World War II, the Civil War. All we have to do is look at the white man's history in Africa, his history of colonialism around the world. All we have to do is look at the bombing of Hiroshima, where they killed over 100,000 people. Look at this country here, how they seized this country through genocide and slavery. So if you want to profile somebody, you need to look in the mirror and profile yourself, because the white man has been responsible for more violence than any other group of people on the face of the earth. They wiped out the whole native population here in the United States. So don't, lecture people about, racial profiling when the white man has been more violent than any other group of people on this planet. Also, racial profiling is not really intelligent police work because there's no set model of who's going to commit these crimes. You don't know who's going to commit a crime. And it wastes a lot of valuable police time by focusing on innocent people simply because of their race or their religion. If we look at the situation in New York as a prime example, how they used to stop and frisk thousands of innocent black people. Most of them, they were innocent. Most of them had no contraband in New York City, but yet they wasted all those resources searching and humiliating and harassing all those innocent people when they could have been doing real police work, stopping those who actually were committing crimes. So it's a drain on resources, it's not effective policing, and also it alienates communities. You can't fight terrorism by alienating the Muslim community. In order to fight terrorism, you need to build relationships with the community so that the community can help you find the actual terrorists. And the same is true in the black community. I mean, a part of the reason why there's a breakdown in the relationship between the police and the community is because the community has been victimized by the police. The police are the ones harassing the community. The police are the ones brutalizing the community. So of course people aren't going to be cooperative with the police when they realize that the police aren't there to protect them. They aren't there to serve them. So the people are not going to be inclined to cooperate with the police when they know that the police will not keep them safe, when they know that the police are not reliable. So those are my thoughts about that issue, about this whole racial profiling issue. Also, I just want to say a couple of things about this election. And before I do that, I want to go on to this point about this shooter in Orlando. People are making it seem as if this was some kind of Muslim attack. Yes, he was a Muslim. He claims to be a Muslim. He claims that he did this in the name of ISIS and all that kind of stuff. But as it turns out, this person has a long history of problems, going back to when he was a child. He was suspended from school for engaging in fights and all kinds of violence, for making sexually crude remarks and all that kind of stuff. So this person had a problem to begin with. He probably has some deep-rooted psychological issues. Also, this person claims to be doing this in the name of ISIS and all that stuff. But yet he was on gay websites from what I understand. And from what I understand, this is not his first time going to this Pulse Club. He was a regular there. He went there regularly. So what you have here is a situation where somebody was a closeted homosexual. They had deep-seated psychological issues. And all they did is they latched on to something. They latched on to ISIS to create an excuse, a cover, a justification for what they did, for the brutality that they committed. So for all intents and purposes, this probably has nothing to do with ISIS. It probably has nothing to do with Islam. It's just another deranged individual committing an act of barbarism, an act of brutality against innocent people. So to simply profile this as some kind of Muslim issue it's wrong. And it's not going to help us solve the problems that we see with these mass shootings. These mass shootings are committed using assault rifles. If you really are serious about ending the violence, ending these incidents of mass shootings, you have to get rid of these assault rifles. There's no reason why a regular citizen should be walking around with a weapon that's capable of taking hundreds of lives. There's no rational reason. You don't need that to protect your home. You don't need it for hunting. You don't need it, period. And these politicians are nothing but excuse makers, and they justify this nonsense. The blood is on their hands, as I said in the prior video. And he can't be serious about a solution as long as he's talking about how people should have the right to bear these types of weapons. He can't be serious. And as I said in another video, I really think that Donald Trump was encouraged to join this election so that Clinton can win. And it looks like that plan is working out wonderfully because the polls are indicating that this man is being destroyed. it is highly unlikely that he will be elected. So with that, I'll just end it on that note. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.